President of the Institute for Liberty, has been active in the Tea Party movement from its onset. As an advocate for America's small businesses, he has appeared as a guest on Fox News and is currently writing a book, The War on Small Business. He has provided support for the many grassroots groups that have sprung up in our state, including our Tea Party group in here in Cecil County. There's been more than one occasion where we have been able to call on him to help us out with something, and he's been right there. And I just really appreciate the efforts that he has directed towards the Tea Party movement and furthering it, and just the many years he's given in support of liberty. Because of that, it is my privilege to introduce a friend of liberty and fellow patriot, Andrew Langer.
Well, good afternoon, Cecil County. I'm going to put the microphone up. There we go. How are y'all doing today? Good. You know, it's funny because Jackie really embodies everything that this movement is about. And what she doesn't know is that yesterday, as I was with the folks from Americans for Prosperity on their shore-wide Now or Never bus tour with State Senator Harris and a number of you who may be in the crowd, I talked about Jackie quite a bit in several of my speeches. We did 4 appearances yesterday. You see, these are the times that try men's souls. Thomas Paine wrote that in 1776 as the introduction to his book, An American Crisis. And as those words were true in 1776, they are just as true today. You see, we face a crisis in America, don't we?
Yes.
We are at a crossroads. And you see, Americans are a resilient people. We can handle a great many things. And we've handled just about as much as we can right now over the last 18 months with this government and the turn that this government has taken. We've rolled with those changes. But we face a choice in how many days, Senator Harris? 9 days? 10 days? 10 days we face a choice. You see, there are those who believe in government. I believe in you. I believe in each and every one of you. We have come this far. We have beaten back the advances, the encroachments upon our liberty because of the hard work of each and every one of you. And you see, when I talked about this yesterday, and I talked about the work that Jackie had done, you see, we stopped cap and trade. We stopped card check. We delayed the vote on health care. And we are going to repeal it, my friends. We are going to repeal it. When good men like Andy Harris get elected to Congress, we will repeal it. But it was the hard work of individuals just like you. And so, what Jackie didn't tell you when we met, I met her just up the road. For those of you who don't know, I work in D.C., but I live in Queen Anne's County. And so the 1st Congressional District, the 36th Senatorial District, this district for the House of Delegates, I am with you. This is my area. This is where I live. This is home for me. And so I came up here as a private citizen. Hold on, let me digress for a second. Nothing makes me more happy than whenever I see Al Reason at an event. He's talking, he's not even listening to me. But I love seeing him at every event. And I was bummed that he couldn't come down to Centerville last night, but I knew he was standing on his corner and he couldn't come. He told me that. Anyway, I met Jackie at a town hall meeting that they were having up at the Farm Bureau, I believe it was. An event that they said was private. I don't know how many of you were there, but we got taken to task when we were a little bit less than cordial to Congressman Crowderville because we were not treating him with the respect that he deserved. Anyway, so the congressman says, when he's asked, and the thing is that Jackie wrote one of the best arguments, one of the best attacks on cap and trade that I've seen from some of the most learned D.C. policy analysts. Stay-at-home mom here wrote this wonderful piece, and she was there, and she was hammering the congressman on his vote. And he said, well, I had to vote for cap and trade. I had to, because otherwise the EPA, the Supreme Court said the EPA has to regulate CO2 as a pollutant, which isn't true. the Supreme Court said EPA could do it. They can do it. And so I asked the congressman, well, Congressman, if you were so concerned about the executive branch, it's your job as a congressman to say, EPA, you can't do that. Don't regulate CO2 as a pollutant. And he looked at me and he said, I can do that? Yeah, you can, Congressman.
Wow.
I mean, you're a lawyer, right? Or did you miss law school on the day they taught constitutional law? That alone, someone who does not fundamentally understand their job as a member of Congress is a reason why he needs to be turned out of office in 10 days. But it's because of that hard work that we've come this far. I mean, Lord knows, in January of 2009, I was as despondent as any of you. I was. And I didn't think that we had any opportunity to retake the House or the Senate. I thought it would take us a number of years to build and rebuild from there. But this administration has done everything wrong. But more importantly, as I've said, and I will keep hitting this point, it is the work of all of you. But I want to say very plainly, our work does not end on November 2nd. It cannot end there. And it's not just about holding men. Should Andy Harris win the election, it's not just about holding Congressman Harris accountable. I mean, Lord knows, I know we're all tired of having to call Frank's office on the off chance that he may or may not, depending on how he's feeling that day and what Nancy and Steny tell him to do, how he's going to vote on a bill. But we have to do that. But it goes beyond that, my friends, because on November 3rd, this administration moves to enact every bad piece in their agenda, in their Marxist, socialist, Maoist, anti-capitalism, anti-free markets, anti-limited government agenda. They're going to do it through the administrative process, through the regulatory process, because they know that none of you really pay attention to those things. Most Americans don't know what a regulation is. Most Americans don't know that regulations now cost the American economy $1.75 trillion annually. That's right, that's trillion with a T. It's one of these things where even if Keynesian economics worked, that paltry $1 trillion that we spent on stimulus is dwarfed by the annual cost of regulations to this economy. It's one of those things that I know Congressman or Senator Harris gets, because I've heard him speak about this before. So I ask each and every one of you to join with me. It's one of the things that we do in paying attention to what this administration is going to do through that process. Comment on regulations. Push back. We have to, when we can, we have to stop this agenda, and I have faith in each and every one of you that we will. As I said, I believe in you, I believe in the state of Maryland, and I believe in the United States of America. Thank you all very much.